here that you see how she's getting these kind of lumpy areas where I'm squeezing. So for the first time ever here, we are dealing with edema in one of our goats after kidding, which is a buildup of fluid in the tissue. So she kind of gets these pockets where I'm squeezing on her teats, and that fluid is building up where that pressure, where my hand sits, is. I'm gonna finish milking her out, and then I'll just kind of go over what's gone on since she's kidded, which was 4 days ago now. Yeah, it's a funny feeling. I'm gonna let the iodine sit for a little bit and then wipe it off. And her udder is a little bit dry, so then I'm gonna put some bag balm on it just to kind of keep her comfortable. The 12-hour wait to milk is just filling her up like way past comfort right now. So we're milking it. I'm a little bit late this morning, as I usually am. It's like 6:30 right now. And then we milk in the middle of the day. So I've been doing like anywhere between like 12 to 2 o'clock milking just to release the pressure. We are milking her out, but because she's getting uncomfortable and she's like kicking her legs at her udder. And then we're doing our 5 o'clock milking at night, but then we're going all night before we milk her again at 5 or 6 o'clock. So I'm wondering if I should start maybe doing like a milk out a little bit later for her, so she's not waiting the full 12 hours, because she's quite uncomfortable. You can see when I start milking her that she's lifting her leg up and kicking her leg, and she feels really, really full. DC, who is our first and our only La Mancha until she kidded, had a really horrible birth. It wasn't too terribly horrible. If you haven't watched it, I did record it and it is posted, so you can go watch that. She had a big kid, a 9-pound single doe kid, who was adorable. And her labor just wasn't progressing well. It was really stressful. I went in and checked. She had a kid. The head was like upside down, but the legs were straight. I didn't think it was alive. The one leg was hooked on the pelvis bone, which was very, very hard for me to get out. So the birth was very stressful. She also traveled quite far. She traveled, well, I guess not too far, just a couple states over to get here while she was heavily pregnant, which also is quite stressful on their bodies. I don't like a traveling pregnant doe, but that's just the way things worked out when we got her. So after she kidded, we take kids, which I also have a video on why we do that for anybody that's interested on the reasons behind that. And I milked her out, and I noticed that when I was milking her out, I could feel the imprint of my hand left on her udder, and she was getting these weird, like, bubbles, I call them, on her teats where my hand was resting and squeezing. So my first thought was, this is most likely edema. I've dealt with it, I deal with it in my legs in my pregnancy. I'm not that far along yet, but I will have swollen edema legs, I am sure of it. And I messaged some people. I messaged one person, and at first it was like, no, I think she just has kind of like bulbous teats. And then I did contact my vet because I was also worried about her, just in general, how she was doing, because the birth stressed me out. And he was like, yeah, it definitely sounds like a classic sign of edema. Doesn't sound too bad. Keep milking her out. It should work its way out of her or heal itself. So what we've been doing is we've been doing extra milkings and lots of udder massages. I've been meaning to get some vitamin C because I've heard sprinkling that on top of food can really help. And then I've got the bag balm. And if you guys noticed, DC has made like a complete 180 in her personality since kidding, which I was hoping would happen. So when you first met her, she didn't really like to be touched, especially in the hind end, specifically where she has her burn scar. When I'm taking kids and I'm milking right away, I think that goats kind of think of me as their baby, so to say. So when they release that oxytocin when I'm milking them, that would typically be going towards the love for their child, it's going towards me. So she's obsessed with me right now. She's constantly giving me kisses. She screams when I leave, and she screams when I show up until I pet her. She's been really wonderful. She did get a pretty good, I won't show you guys, but she got a pretty good tear on her vulva, an outside tear, so no internal tears. That would be very bad. I made sure to give her meloxicam for, I think we did that for 3 days. And I'm keeping the area very clean, looking for signs of infection. If we see an infection, then we will do a round of antibiotics. But so far it looks great. And I showed her kid in the beginning of the clip, and it's so cute. She's doing excellent. Hi. We are going to keep her, so that's our first keeper kid of the year. It's going to be a La Mancha. You're this goat. I've realized that I haven't explained in any of my videos. For those of you that aren't familiar with the La Mancha breed, they are not earless. They do have ears. They're just really very tiny. So they do have ear holes. And then the appearance of no ears. But there is a little ear there. They can hear me. I'm going to get the rest of these girls milked out. And then Greg and I are going to go pick up a buck, a La Mancha buck, because we will need a La Mancha buck in the spring or fall to breed these girls. So I will bring you along with us to do that. It's going to be quite a drive. The buck's coming from Vermont. Thankfully, she's coming up to Maine, so we're just meeting 2.5 hours some way. And then 2.5 hours back with a goat kid that hopefully won't scream the whole time because he's not a Nubian.